Has the President of the United States betrayed the left and the values of the Democratic Party? Is there another explanation? What can people be expected to do about it? We'll lead off with the President's press conference, which built on deficit talks and interruptions in those talks over the last several days, and the idea of a grand bargain. We have a video clip of a comment the President made today. If we could see that clip, we'll start off with that.
Will not sign a 30-day or a 60-day or a 90-day extension. That is just not an acceptable approach. And if we think it's going to be hard, if we think it's hard now, imagine how these guys are going to be thinking 6 months from now in the middle of election season when they're all up. It's not going to get easier, it's going to get harder. So we might as well do it now. Pull off the Band-Aid. Eat our peas. Now's the time to do it.
Okay, so the President was saying there that it's time to do the tough work to eat our peas. And what he was referring to was the fact that he's pushing for a grand bargain, as he calls it, on deficit reduction. And that grand bargain, from all reports, the White House would like to see Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid cuts included in that. Now, there are a lot of ways to interpret that, but one of the ways to interpret that, and one of the things we're hearing out of progressives in Washington, including those on Capitol Hill, is that Social Security was, we're hearing a lot of talk about what's on the table and not on the table in these talks. Of course, there is no physical table. If there were, that would be where you put your peas, I suppose. But there's been a lot of talk on the left that Social Security was in fact off the table, that the Republicans felt it was too explosive an issue for them. And the President did not directly answer questions about that today, except he did say a couple things that were telling. One of the things he said is, if we're going to have the tough discussions, and I'm not quoting verbatim, but this is what he was saying, if we're going to have the tough discussions about all of the issues, why don't we have them now? And a reporter raised the issue of Social Security being separate from the deficit, and he said, why not defer that to a later date? And the President, in effect, said, if we're discussing the tough issues, why not discuss them all at once? And what has progressives and many others across the political spectrum scratching their head about that position is that the logical answer is, if someone's holding a gun to your head, and in this case it's the gun of not raising the debt ceiling, and is saying, now let's talk about what it's going to take for me to put the gun down, I want everything in your bank account, you don't go back and say, oh, but you haven't mentioned my other bank account, so why don't we put my other bank account on the table? Because if we're going to have a tough discussion, let's talk about all my bank accounts. That's not negotiation. So it has a lot of people saying, for the first time on the left, what people, at least publicly, have never said about President Barack Obama. It has them speculating about whether economically conservative policies aren't just something he will accept. They're now asking themselves, are those policies what he wants? One of the people chiming in was Paul Krugman, who knows a thing or two about economics. And Krugman wrote a piece last week called What Obama Wants. And the premise of that piece was that it's very hard to look at this debate and not conclude that the President does in fact think that the biggest problem facing a country with 9.2% official unemployment and real unemployment that's much higher needs to worry about the deficit first and foremost. So while Krugman has been an irritant to the White House at times, he's now openly saying he doesn't believe the President is on the side of the angels on this issue. And he's not the only one. Announcement.
Our new Android app? Is that what you were getting at?
First time anywhere. You are hearing it for the first time. The Young Turks have an Android app. You know, there's an Apple app. Now there's an Android app. Now, not an android, not a creature, not a being, not a false artificial human, but an app for your Android phone. You probably knew that, but I'm Apple, so I didn't know.
There we go.